What's up, my friend? So, as we're waiting for everyone to finish joining here, like I was saying, we're doing a chest workout. So, anytime I work any muscle group, I like to go ahead and do similar movements just with a light resistance or body weight only. Doesn't matter whether I'm training with bands, weights, all the same. So, we want to go ahead and loosen up some chest. And same thing with back. And then shoulders, we've actually got that built into our warm up. So quick background here. We're following a workout that's extracted out of the FAILPROOF program. The workout I designed to maximize fat loss and conditioning. Now, with that being said, it's not just all about fat loss or burning calories. One of the best ways that we can burn more fat is by building lean muscle. That is building our metabolic machinery, so to speak, right? The more lean muscle we have, the more calories we burn. So the ideal workout program is going to build lean muscle, but at the same time, we want to maximize calorie burn in the workout. Unless you're the type that just loves doing extra cardio, which I don't. So I've always had this philosophy that resistance training is high intensity exercise. The problem is most people just rest so long in between their sets. So if you take resistance training and you shorten your rest periods, now you're taking the high intensity element of resistance training and making it HIIT. So the name of this program is called MSC-HIIRT, HIIIRT, which is high intensity interval resistance training. The MSC part of it is for muscle specific circuits. So we're doing this almost the way that we would do regular resistance training, muscle specific workouts. We're not doing crazy high reps like we've done other programs like TA2 Burn. You're doing like 15, 20 reps. We're going lower reps here. We want to target about 10 reps. Our active, let's call it active set, is going to be about 45 seconds. So we're targeting nice controlled rep speeds, but we want a good resistance level. So, this isn't just all about banging out a bunch of quick reps. So even though it's high intensity interval training, we still want to get that resistance training element to it. We are trying to build lean muscle at the same time. So that's the background on it. The way this is going to be broken down, every single one of these MSC workouts follows the same template. So there is a pre-burn, which is body weight only stuff. That's designed to get our heart rate up and going, get us warmed up. Then we jump into circuit number one. Circuit number one is going to have opposing muscle groups back to back. So we'll do a chest exercise, then right away, short rest period, back exercise, and then it pairs up one body weight exercise. So we're going to do those exercises or that circuit. We're going to rest 1 minute and repeat. And so that circuit is done 3 times. We'll have a short rest period, and then we're going to move on to circuit number 2, which follows the same format. And then lastly, we come into our afterburn, which is very similar to our pre-burn. And this is where we're just going to try to maximize calorie burn. It also kind of serves to ease us into the very last phase, which is our cool down. And that's where we'll just be taking a few minutes doing some stretching, etc. So with that being said, Ricky, I see that he's here. He's in the comments. I think he was probably having problems with his live feed, but that's okay. I'm glad everyone's here. So with that being said, we're going to get started here in a second. You notice I do have a timer behind me. When you're following these workouts on your own, the way that I like to do it, I just let my timer on my phone run. I don't start it and stop it. I'm using it as a reference point. We're targeting 45 seconds on our sets with 60 seconds rest, but it doesn't have to be exact right down to the millisecond. So with that being said, here's what our pre-burn looks like. We're going to be starting with jumping jacks. We're gonna move to a body weight squat, push-ups, and then we're gonna be doing some arm circles. We really wanna make sure that we get those shoulders nice and warm because we're gonna be doing both pushing and pulling. So, the way that our pre-burn and after-burn works, it's 45 seconds active, 45 seconds rest. So we're gonna go from one to the next to the next. So if you guys are ready, let's do this. So I'm actually probably gonna move this where I can see it a little bit better. Or actually, we got Mike behind the camera. Mike's gonna call it out for me. So Mike, you see the timer?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna be doing 45 seconds on, 45 seconds rest. So as soon as that clock hits 10, you say go. And when it hits 45 seconds, you say stop, and then we'll rest for 45.
So when it says, okay, when it gets to 10.
Here we go.
5 seconds.
2.
1.
All right, let's go. "45 seconds seems easy, but these all add up. How are we looking, Mike?
15 more seconds. Good.
All right. So now we're going to rest. Go ahead and take the opportunity. Very, very light stretching. Until you're really warm, you don't want to do anything aggressive with your stretching. We'll make sure at the very end we get a good stretch in. But I do like to do something very light. So Mike, as soon as that hits 30 seconds, we're going to move into our body weight squats. We're going to do these nice and controlled. Not fast. Nice, slow, controlled eccentrics, nice and smooth.
Okay, 5 more seconds.
All right.
2, 1.
There we go. We don't have any weight on our shoulders, so don't be afraid to go nice and deep into that squat. It's going to help with mobility as well. We're designed to be able to squat all the way to the floor. There's nothing wrong with this. Everyone worries about knees and hips. No, you should be able to squat all the way down.
15 more seconds.
Now, even though we're doing back and chest, we're doing this because we're trying to get our heart rate up, and nothing gets your heart rate up like doing any kind of lower body. Okay, same thing. Light stretch, we got 45 seconds rest here. And we're gonna move into body weight push-ups. Same thing, it's not a race. I'm not trying to see how many we can do. Just nice and controlled. When are we starting?
You're starting at exactly 13.
Exactly 13 on Friday the 13th.
5-second rest. 2 more.
All right, let's go ahead and get into position here. Tell me when, Mike.
Go.
Nice and smooth. By the way, we have some banded push-ups today, so get ready for those.
More seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
All right. So, last exercise here. Not even really an exercise, although it is, to loosen up the shoulders, but you do these arm circles the right way, you'll feel those shoulders fire up. Where we starting it right at 30? Okay. All right. And so what we're going to do after the arm circles, we do have a quick 3-minute rest. That's where you're going to grab your water, grab your bands, etc. There's no standing around. All right. Nice big circles here. Don't do this little shit. Nice big circles, nice and controlled. You want to start to feel those delts fire up. Which, by the way, anyone's following any of the content the last month, I've been doing the Train Like Zane series, so I have not been doing a lot of this kind of conditioning, so I have no doubt this is going to kick my ass. That's right, we're all in it to win it, right? You should feel those delts really burning now. How are we looking, Mike?
Start in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Okay, real quick, light stretch. Bring the arm across the body. Same thing the other side. Then arm overhead. And the other side. Here we go, you should be loose. Grab some water. And we are going to start with a push-up with the band. So, these are 45 seconds with 60 seconds rest. I want you to aim for about 10 really good reps here. They're gonna be nice and slow, maybe 12 reps. Don't be afraid. If you have to, challenge yourself a little bit. If you have to drop down in bands, that's cool. If you have to drop down to no band at the end, that's cool. It's like a big giant drop set. So there is no right or wrong way to do it other than just challenging yourself. You want to make sure that by the time we get to the end of the 45 seconds that you really push yourself. How are we looking, Mike?
Whatever you want. I guess I was looking at the top of when you want to start.
Well, we were supposed to have a good 3 minutes, but that's okay. What we're going to do, right when the clock hits 17:30, so we got another 35 seconds, we're going to drop down and bust out some push-ups. Remember, we got 3 rounds of this first circuit. All right, go ahead and get that band ready behind your back. All right, let's get in position. All right, Mike, keep the counter. Slow eccentric, you can explode back up. Oh yeah, push through.
5, 4, 3, 2.
That's perfect. So we got 60 seconds rest here. Don't be afraid to get that little stretch in. Get that chest nice and open. All right, so we're moving right into our bent over row. So grab the band you want to use, anchor it right under our feet, about shoulder width apart. Make sure get enough tension here at the bottom. So there's nothing slack here. When do we start, Mike?
15, so 60 seconds, you're gonna have 15.
Have 15 after?
15 after, yeah.
All right, so when you're doing these, keep that back straight, maybe even a little arch. So chin up, and we want to row until your hands hit your rib cage. All right, here we go. 45 seconds. Go. Nice and controlled. Really focus on a good squeeze at the top. It's not just about going through the motions of point A to point B with a rep. It's about mind-muscle connection, really feeling that peak contraction, feeling the muscle squeeze, controlling it. All right. And there we go. So we got 60 seconds. We're going to move into our body weight exercise, which is going to be crunches. So we're going to go ahead and get into position. Now remember, with abs, your abs are going to help flex your spine. So if your back is flat the whole time, then you're not getting the best contraction you can get. You want to think about curling a little bit. When do we start?
Right at 30.
Oh, we're late.
21, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, 21.
At 21.
Okay.
False alarm. False alarm.
You got 15 seconds.
All right, let's get in position here. You can lightly support your head if you want. I like to keep my hands in front. So crunch. And I'm not just going up. Look at my hands. This would be up. I want to think about forward. And again, controlling that eccentric on the way down. Everything's about control. I always say, you control the resistance. Don't let it control you. In this case, the resistance is gravity. And gravity has enough control over us as it is. One more. All right. So that's round one. We're resting 1 minute. We're going right back into it, into our push-ups. See if you can do the same resistance you did on set one. You might not be able to. You're going to start to fatigue a little. It's not like we have a lot of rest here for recovery, and that's okay. All right. When do we start, Mike?
22:45.
Well, that's good. Which, by the way, this is the beginner version of the MSC-HIIRT workouts. The big difference in the progression from beginner to intermediate and advanced is going to be your rest periods. So as you advance, the rest periods get shorter, the workouts get a whole lot harder.
5 seconds.
All right, here we go. Let's get in position. All right, let's go. How are we looking, Mike? Mike doesn't know.
No, you can 5 seconds.
All right, so I don't know about you. Seemed like I was probably about 14 reps. That's cool. If we're getting that 12 to 15, we're right where we want to be. So grab the band you want to use. for your rows.
So you still got 30 seconds.
Take the opportunity. Stretch out that chest.
At 24:30, this is when we start.
24:30. All right, we got 20 more seconds here. So like I said, this isn't bad, right? Want to make phase one something that anybody can do. If you're gassed, that's cool. You know, you have control over your own workouts. So if you need to rest more, create your own progression. These rest periods are suggestions. When am I starting? Okay, let's get in position, let's go. Chin up. Remember, all the way to the top. Thumbs should touch your rib cage. There we go. All right. So we are 60 seconds. Going back to the floor. We got our crunches. That'll be the end of our second round. We'll have one more to go. Now, one of the things that I wanted to make sure did with these workouts was not just make them effective, make them time efficient. You know, most of us don't have time to waste. So how do you maximize results in the shortest period of time possible? Do it in the most efficient way possible. So this is a great way to pack in a whole lot of workout into a short period of time. All right.
26:15.
All right, let's get ready. All right, let's go.
Seconds. 10 seconds. Okay.
There we go. Stay nice and loose. Now, for everyone who sticks around to the end of this workout, we'll do a quick Q&A at the end. If you have any questions regarding the workout or FAILPROOF or anything related, we'll stick around during our cool down and we'll do that. So start getting your band ready for your push-ups. This third set, if you're using that same resistance level, this should be getting tough. If it's not tough, that means you sandbagged it on your initial resistance level for set one. When are we starting?
10 seconds.
All right. All right, let's get into position. And go. Stomach's gurgling. Huh?
So that's not good.
No.
10 seconds.
Dig down. That's it?
That's it, sir.
Oh, that was good timing. That was that wall. So 60 seconds. We're gonna get ready to grab our band for our rows. You can grab a drink super quick. At what time?
29:45.
Like I said, stay loose. Now you should, at this point, feel your heart rate staying up there. There's not enough rest here for it to really come down too much. You know, high intensity interval training, your heart rate looks like this. It's up and it's down, and it's up and it's down. So we're never fully recovering, so you're always gonna be slightly out of breath, especially if you're talking like I am. All right, let's do this. All right, let's get one more. There we go. Good. All right, the last body weight exercise for this circuit, back to our crunches. Whew. So one of the things about this workout, because they're back to back, you can't do synergist muscles. Like you couldn't do chest and chest, you'd die. That's why we have opposing muscle groups here. We good?
31:30.
Oh, 31:30?
Yep. You got 20 seconds.
Nice.
You're ready to go, man.
Hey, I'm ready for advanced. I'll tell you what, these workouts look easy on paper. I've had quite a few people say that. They're like, oh, you know, it didn't look too bad, so I went ahead and I skipped past beginner and intermediate and I jumped into advanced. Huh? All right. And if you're not doing this workout right now and just watching, you'd be like, it doesn't look that bad. It's not bad. It feels great. But it'll definitely get you working. All right. Now, anyone who's done TA2 burn, followed Nick, you know, those higher reps, doing HIIT like that, that'll definitely gas you. That's going to get you breathing hard. We don't want to go to that level, right? Because we want to use more resistance here. We're still trying to promote building lean muscle. So we want to keep our reps just a little bit lower, resistance a little higher. So this is halfway in between traditional resistance training and what you would find in the TA2 burn programs. So when you finish your first circuit, we've got 3 minutes, just the one time, in between circuits, which is where we're at right now. So we're gonna move into, shortly, our next chest exercise, which, grab a lighter band, we're gonna do a reverse fly. So anchor the band under your feet, palms up, and squeeze to the middle. Anyone who's done TA2 build, you're familiar with all these exercises. Same movements, just different structure. As you're doing these, I want you to think about contracting that chest even before your arms move. So right here, squeeze the chest. And up.
5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I rushed you guys a little on that one. Got to talking too much. So give you a little preparation. Our next one is going to be a seated high row. So you're gonna sit down on the ground, band around your feet. Make sure you grab far enough forward to get good tension here at the beginning of the movement. And we're gonna be pulling low towards our hips with our palm up. Just like that. And I want you to touch your pinky right to your belt or to your waist. When do we start? All right, so get in position. That band. Here we go. Like I said, pinky to hip. So the hands are rotating up. You call that supination of the hand. Don't think about pulling your hands back. Think about pulling your elbows back. Elbows driving backwards. You'll get a much better contraction and use less biceps. Let's get one more. There we go. So we're going to stay on the ground here because our body weight exercise is bicycle kicks. I know we all love these. Just in case you're not familiar, a little refresher. I don't want your head on the ground. Get a slight contraction here, right? It's almost like a partial crunch. You can support your head if you want. Pedal in the bicycle. When are we starting, Mike? 30? 45? Which now we all don't have Mike here to count for us, but that's why I just keep my phone next to me. Like I said, the counter rolling the whole time. All right, if you're not in position, do it now. I'm gonna start. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice and controlled, not too fast. If you're riding a bike, it's a nice cruise. Full extension. Bring those knees back. And if at any point you get tired, you can put your head down. You can even kind of brace yourself. Some people like to put their hands underneath their butt, especially if you feel a pressure on your low back. It'll help alleviate it just a little bit. Okay. 1 minute rest, and we're going back to our reverse fly. So we're ripping through this. That's set number 1 of our second circuit. So after second circuit, that's when we move to our afterburn. 38:30. Now you're starting to get warm. This is where if you want to get a little more aggressive with your stretching, you're okay to do it. You just don't ever want to stretch a muscle when it's cold. People ask about injury prevention. More than stretching is proper warm-up. One of the best things that you can do. All right, so again, starting with palms forward, feet nice and wide. Here we go. Remember, contract that chest and then squeeze. And when you get to the top, I want you to squeeze your hands together like you're trying to crush something in between. It's going to give you a better contraction in the chest. You notice my arms, the angle at my elbow doesn't really change. You start getting movement at the elbow, you can start using biceps. Is that it? Let's get one more. Nice. Again, light stretch, probably a good time. Just grab a sip of water. Feels good. Okay, so you got about 30 seconds. I'd go ahead and get in position. You guys ready? All right, here we go. Try to keep that chest out too. Go. Don't round forward as you do these. Chest up. Any of your back exercises, you always want that slight arch backwards for a little better contraction. So your body follows your head, so chin up and chest out. Good. Just in case you're wondering, we are going to save this video and we're going to upload it to the Undersun YouTube channel, and then we'll go ahead and notify everyone when that goes up through email, post it in the Undersun social tribe, etc. So, just in case you're at work right now and you can't follow along, you can always do it later. All right, I was about to do crunches. Remember, we got bicycle kicks. How are we looking, Mike? Oh, good. I'm just going to lounge out. Might as well enjoy it. What are we? Right at 42? All right. Get in position. Here we go. All right, let's start. Remember, nice and controlled. And again, if you're like me, you have low back issues, and if this starts to burn there in the low back, again, just pop your hands under there. Sweet. One more round. One more round. Now, this is the home version of the MSC workouts. Using bands makes it super easy because jumping from exercise to exercise in the circuit is easy with bands. You don't have to go anywhere. But if you follow the gym version, set it up the same way, where you're not having to try to jump between multiple machines or across a room. They're very self-contained circuits. When are we starting? All right, we got 15 more seconds. Because that's one of the problems with circuit training, especially during busy gym hours, 5 o'clock in the evening, all the equipment's crowded. It's difficult to do circuits. So designed it where you can camp out on one machine, bring all your stuff there. All right, here we go. Again, notice the angle at the elbow. It doesn't really change. And you squeeze into the middle. Touch the hands, squeeze them, go out wide.
5 seconds.
One more. Oh, good. If you want, grab some water, stretch out. Which, by the way, welcome to my home gym. You know, that's the one thing, as I started trying to incorporate some weights back into my training, going from 4.5 years of bands, I was shell-shocked going back into a gym. Got so used to just having my own environment. So I definitely prefer being in here. It's nice to go to a gym every now and then, you know, for the social element, but for the most part, I'm not in a gym to socialize.
5 seconds.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Drive those elbows back. And you're rotating those palms up.
One more out.
There it is. Yeah. Cool. Get our bicycle kicks in. We got a 3-minute rest. That's where you can tank up on water if you want before we move into our afterburn. So let's go ahead and get in position.
We're going at 47:15.
47:15, huh?
Yep. About 20 seconds.
Hope everyone's feeling great. Definitely great to have everyone here. Haven't done one of these lives in a long time, so it's cool. Cool being back. All right, let's go.
All the way to 48.
All the way to 48. Oh yeah, keep it going.
10 seconds.
Nice. So now we got a 3-minute rest, grab some water, and we're gonna move into our afterburn. So we don't need bands anymore. We're all done with, let's call it the resistance training component of it. So our afterburn looks a lot like our pre-burn. A couple different exercises though, mix it up. So we're gonna start with high knees. Remember, these are 45 seconds and 45 seconds rest as opposed to our 1-minute rest. So 45, 45, so high knees, jumping jacks, butt kickers, crunches. Then we move to our cool down and our Q&A. We're ripping.
So you're starting at 51. So you got some time. You said 3-minute rest.
3-minute rest. So again, take the opportunity, grab water. This probably be a good opportunity, especially with like the high knees and the butt kickers, to go ahead and make sure your lower body is loose. Get those quads. A little hamstring stretch. The what? The math?
The math of the 45 seconds.
It's not that bad. Not that bad. And just so you know, if you feel you're disciplined enough to kind of just count this stuff in your head, then do it. You know, for me, I like having the timer there. It just holds me accountable. And if someone comes up and starts talking to you, it makes it really easy to say, hey, sorry, I got to start in 5 seconds. And that way you don't let someone screw up the momentum of your workout. Because if someone comes in and starts talking to you for 5 minutes, it's going to really ruin what I think is the best part of this workout, which is that momentum. 45 seconds. Okay, let's get ready. So we're going to be starting with those high knees.
30 seconds.
All right. Now, again, I tried to keep the rest periods a little bit higher in this beginner version of it. I don't want someone going in on day one and saying, wow, this is impossible. And then they quit before they even start. So if you do this for a week and you feel like too easy, progress right away. All right, here we go, high knees. Stay on your toes, absorb that impact. These are always tough. I think high knees is one of the tougher ones. Especially at the end. Whoo, yeah, buddy. I remember trying to figure out those ideal rest periods. And I came in and started doing high knees after doing shorter rest periods. I was like, maybe everyone might need a little bit more rest. At least I did. Okay. We got our jumping jacks. Starting at 52:30? Yep. All right. Here we go. Ready? Let's go. Same thing, stay on those toes. What's that? Nice. Little calf stretch, probably be good at this point. Just elevate those toes. Lean into it. Nice and light. 54 on the dot. All right, we got a little less than 30 seconds. And we're gonna move in to butt kickers. Ass kickers. All right, about 10 seconds. All right, get ready. All right, let's do it. I call it butt kickers for a reason. Try to get that heel as close to your butt as possible. We're going to what?
Going to 45.
Ooh, 15 more seconds. You might even be feeling these in your quads. How much?
Good.
Oh, good stuff. All right, 45 seconds, and we are at crunches. Remember, just one set of pre-burn and one set afterburn. All right, let's get in position. It's gonna be our last set of crunches for the day. All right, let's do it. Nice. There we go. So that is our afterburn. You can take a minute to rest if you want to when you're doing these. You don't have to. We're gonna go right into a standing tricep stretch. So like we did earlier at the beginning, one arm overhead, grab your elbow with your hand, just gently pull it back. If you really want to get a little bit extra, you can even lean back into the side a little bit. Play around. Move around until you feel a good stretch. So we're doing 15 seconds each side on all. We don't have to count these right now. So we'll do 15 seconds on the left. We'll do 15 seconds on the right. Remember, use a lot of triceps and shoulders in this workout. So it's a good stretch. All right, we've been doing these throughout the workout. The more you push your knee back, the better. So this is better, best. Same thing, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. You know, we all know we should stretch more. No one likes to do it. But if you want to make good progress, one of the best things that you can do is minimize risk of injury, because there is no bigger setback than injury. So take the time. Best investment you can make. So come down here. One knee on the ground. You're going to lean forward and you're going to feel that stretch in the top of your quad and hip. If you really wanted to amplify it, you could grab your foot. But let's start with the basics here and just kind of rock forward slightly until you feel a good stretch. Same thing, 15 seconds. I'm going to switch. And then we'll move into some questions. I'll give you guys, fill in some gaps real quick and then let you guys fire away. Mike's going to read those so I don't have to put my glasses on. turning 49 next month, so I guess it goes with the territory, right? So now we're going to do a seated hamstring stretch. So bring your one foot right up against your leg. And, ultimately we want to be able to at least touch our toes, but start however you can start, If you have to grab underneath your thigh or underneath your calf, whatever it takes, don't overdo it, don't force it. It's just like anything else, a little bit of progress every day, and you can get a lot of that flexibility back. I don't have any flexibility. I've always been stiff to begin with. A couple torn hamstrings make it even worse, but do what you can do. But, it's one thing to maintain strength over time. It's another thing to maintain mobility. Look how many people, even younger people, have such a struggle getting off the ground. You should be able to get on the ground and get off the ground. All right, so there's our hamstring stretch. And then one that I like to always include. So from your knees, you're gonna reach forward and almost like think of your hands trying to anchor in here. And then you're sitting back. And you can even kind of shift your weight from one side to the other and get a nice stretch there in your back and your shoulders, your hip. Same thing, so 15 seconds. Well, that's it. So that is one of our MSC-HIIRT workouts. So like a traditional resistance training program, it's got a split. So this is a 4-day split, different body parts each day. So 4 workout days, 3 rest days. You come in, you hit it hard, you maximize that calorie burn. Like I said, they're really time efficient. We hit 6 sets of chest, 6 sets of back, a bunch of sets of abs. We worked some lower body, kind of got the whole thing in there. And like I said, we really got our heart rate up. So it's one way to definitely maximize calorie burn within a very short period of time while still focusing on what I think is one of the single most important things for staying lean and mean, which is maintaining that metabolic machinery that we talked about, which is going to be lean muscle. Now, this workout, the MSC-HIIRT workouts, are part of the FAILPROOF program, but FAILPROOF is primarily a nutrition master course first and foremost. Why? Because the old saying, you can't out-train a bad diet, is true. Think about it. You eat an extra 1,000 calories. There's no workout in the world that's going to burn 1,000 calories for you. Plus, you're killing yourself trying to do it. So one of the easiest things that you can do to get in great shape is start with a nutrition first approach. Problem is most coaches, most trainers don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because there's a lot to unpack with nutrition, especially with all the misconceptions out there. It's got to be this, it's got to be that, and there's so much confusion out there. So part of it is having to unravel all that and get down to the essence of what really matters and what really works. And so there's a bit of education that's required there. It's not something I can do in a single video, not by a long shot. So what I did with the FAILPROOF Master Course is broke it up into 21 individual lessons, try to keep them short, digestible, don't want to overwhelm anyone. So it's like bite-sized pieces tackling one topic at a time. So that is the essence of what FAILPROOF is education on nutrition. Then of course there's other components, the custom calorie and macro calculations, all the PDFs that go along with it, grocery lists, all that good crap. And of course, a suggestion for the workouts, which are these MSC-HIIRT workouts. Big question, do I have to follow the MSC-HIIRT workouts to do FAILPROOF? And the answer is no. If you have a workout program that you love, keep doing it. If you want to switch it up, great. Here's an alternative. But the meat and potatoes of FAILPROOF isn't the workouts. They're great, and they will absolutely help maximize calorie burn. But if you really, really want to get in great shape, it's got to come from the nutrition. And the big thing with nutrition that I've learned through the years, There's a lot of different ways to get to the top of the mountain. Some of them are a lot harder than others. And what I used to do was work way harder than I needed to, almost to the point where I felt like I was working against myself. And I always thought that more is better. And if it's harder, that means I'm going to get better results. But what I realized is that's not sustainable over a long period of time. It doesn't matter how good a diet is. If you follow it for a short period of time and you burn out and you can't stand it, you hate it, and all you're thinking about is that next cheat meal, then that's just not going to get you the results you want, because, like I've always said, results come from consistency over a period of time. So sustainability has to be paramount, right? You have to build a program around that. How do I make a program that people can do day in and day out without hating it? Matter of fact, maybe even hopefully enjoying it. So that is the essence of FAILPROOF. So again, included the workouts, 2 versions, a band-only version that you can do at home, on the go, outside, whatever. Or for anyone who wants to go into the gym, you got a gym version, or you can combine the 2. So that's kind of the nutshell on MSC-HIIRT. Now Mike's going to scroll through here, see if we've got any questions. Feel free to fire away.
I'm gonna go back up because I've seen a few of them.
Okay.
I'll just start reading stuff. FAILPROOF has helped Ricky lose 20 pounds. He said, "I want to see an updated advanced training workout. Do you have any plans on doing such?"
Advanced training?
Advanced training workout. An updated advanced training workout.
Yeah, look, I think everyone who follows any of my content realized that I took a long break. And, look, it was needed. I needed a long break. I'm human, just a lot of stuff going on over the last couple years. And, I don't think any of us are infallible. Even when it comes to, nutrition or training, we all have our ups and our downs. And for me, it was a real challenge at a certain point trying to juggle everything, juggle all my responsibilities, be a good dad and a good husband, and try to run a business and try to maintain my fitness goals. And then social media on top of that was this extra layer that at a certain point in time, I'm like, whew, I can't do it all. And so took a long break and recharged my batteries, kind of have a new outlook on things. So just a new level of enthusiasm coming back. And so, yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot more content even back on the Undersun side, because I still use bands every day. Even when I'm doing this Frank Zane workout that I've been doing on YouTube, I still incorporate the bands, using them for warm-ups, using them for cool downs, using them for finishers, etc. But there's easy opportunities even to work the bands into that, because Frank Zane himself was a big advocate of bands, especially combining them with free weights, which is the way that I started when I started using bands in 2008. So people have to remember, before 2017-18, when I went bands only, I went for about 10 years of using bands in combination with weights, which I really enjoyed. So probably going to get back into a lot more of that, because I just think that they're an amazing tool that anybody can benefit from, no matter what your training style, no matter what level of fitness you are. It's just another tool in your arsenal, just to switch things up and, get that kind of variety. So yeah, you'll start seeing a lot more band content as well.
So we got one from PS Chatbull. Does FAILPROOF adjust to dietary restrictions such as dairy restrictions?
So yes, you can absolutely adjust it, because I don't want you to think that the program is super restrictive, that you only can eat these types of foods, because that's a problem that I see with a lot of these nutrition plans. And let's face it, we all have different restrictions maybe, or different preferences at a minimum. I like this and I don't like that. So the program is more about giving you that level of education so you can make better choices, and you know how to modify it to suit you. So it's more like giving you the parameters or the recipe, so to speak, and then you can substitute the foods that you want. There are suggestions in there for types of foods, but again, based on the way that you like to eat or the foods that you prefer, you can make those adjustments.
Let's see. There was one I read up here about the rows. If you have lower back issues, how do you work around? The rows. How do you do exercises
I do have some pretty bad low back issues. I couldn't tell you how much of it was from that bad car accident that I was in. I actually personally think more of it came from all the years in a gym doing a bunch of stupid stuff, squatting way too heavy when I was younger, using what I thought was good form, which turned out not to be good form. So long story short, MRI, I've got 3 herniated discs all in a row, all stacked up on top of each other. And so the way that I stay on top of it is every night I get on an inversion table. I was so not into those for the longest time. I just figured that's where everyone hangs their dirty laundry. They just end up like collecting dust. But if you make it a discipline and you get on there every night, it really does kind of help offset the effects of gravity that is impacting us every day, squashing us down. And especially when we come in and we put any kind of resistance, right, that extra compression. So definitely doing that every night. I make sure that I've got a good combination of not just stretching, but conditioning. So working those low back muscles, you can't ignore them, right? So you have to find different exercises that you can do that doesn't aggravate it too much. You have to do what you can do to continue to strengthen your core. So strengthening the muscles in your low back, strengthening your abs. So that's a big one. And then for me, I really try to avoid movements where leverage is working against me. So I see a lot of people that are doing, say if we were in a gym doing bar rows, they're way out here. And so you look at your body as a lever. So all that force pulling down, where's that force? Well, it's right here. So when it comes to any kind of rowing movement, one, posture is really important. If you try to keep chest up, chin up, that helps me a lot. The other thing too is when I do things where I'm supported. Either maybe there's a pad or a bench on my chest, or I'm doing things one-handed where I can take that pressure off and lean on my other hand there. Now that pressure's not on my back. So, where there's a will, there's a way. You just got to make some adjustments and find out what works for you. And that is like the biggest kind of like overarching thing that I could ever tell anybody about training that I've learned through all the years, which is now, I think, 33 years of training. You have to find what works for you. What do you enjoy? What fits your schedule? What fits maybe issues that you have, like injuries? Like there's so many variables there that we all can't train exactly the same way. So it is your fitness journey, and it's up to you to figure out what does that look like.
So we're getting a lot of love for FAILPROOFs, people that have already
Purchase.
got it, have been doing it, and there's one guy here is that he's asking, is the diet similar to the lean build program?
No. I mean, there's definitely core principles that are the same. So if you look at what lean build was how do we put ourselves in a very slight calorie surplus to put ourselves in the best anabolic environment possible to build lean muscle without packing on unwanted fat. Because I don't believe in bulks and cuts. I just don't. Maybe, on a very small level, right? In other words, putting yourself in a slight calorie surplus to build muscle, and maybe you're not as ripped and conditioned as, you want to be all the time. But not these drastic changes, because what I learned a long, long time ago is that you go on a bulk, you eat all these extra calories thinking it's making you super anabolic, and you fool yourself into thinking you're putting on all this muscle when in fact you're just putting on a lot of extra body fat. And whatever extra muscle you put on, by the time you go through a cut to get rid of all that fat, you're kind of almost back to where you would have been if you just kept it lean and mean. And, going back to a Frank Zane, he was a big believer in that. He tried doing the bulk and cut, getting ready for a Mr. Olympia. And he learned that exact same lesson. So he stayed relatively lean year round and kept control of his calories. And so that's what lean build is about, is optimizing muscle building first and foremost. FAILPROOF is just the exact opposite. It is a very, very slight calorie deficit done the right way to be able to maintain lean muscle, and depending on who you are, how long you've been training, etc., potentially build new muscle even as you're shedding fat. So from a macronutrient perspective, you know, the types of foods that I recommend, they're very similar in a lot of ways. You know, one doesn't contradict the other, but FAILPROOF, the big difference over Lean Build was like, hey, here it is. Here's the plan, here's the PDF, follow it. And, you know, there's a lot of education that's not there in the Lean Build because it's a lot. It's a lot to dive into. It's a big nut to crack, so to speak. So that's where I took this challenge on with FAILPROOF by creating the 21 video lessons, is to really try to break that down and do it in the most simple way possible, not get overly, you know, sciencey on it to where it makes your head spin and you're like, oh my God, I just can't absorb this. Trying to make it relatable, understandable, and something that you can digest and walk away and say, okay, cool, I get it, and I see how to apply this.
So, I mean, I think that's it for us, man.
Pretty good?
Yeah, we're pretty good right now. A lot of joints, like I said, a lot of love for FAILPROOF. So.
Cool. Well, last thing, speaking of FAILPROOF, we do have a promotion that's running right now, so make sure you head over to jamesgrage.com/FAILPROOF. Check that out. It's a good opportunity to save a few bucks on that program. You know, again, if I were to give you any recommendation on it, it would be just kind of like hunker down, you know, take it as an opportunity to learn, because that's really, in my opinion, the greatest value. It's not me saying, here's your calorie and macro recommendations and here's a grocery list, have at it, and here's a workout program. It's taking everything that I've learned over my entire career through trial and error, trying carb cycling, low-fat diets, keto diets, trying every kind of diet that you can think of, and boiling it all down into the things that I know work and the things that are backed by good evidence-based science. So it's that sweet spot between science and real-world experience, brought that all together. So it's giving you that knowledge. Anything else?
No, man, I think that's it. I mean, unless I scroll all the way back, but it just keeps going and going.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate everyone joining. This was fun. If you followed the workout, hopefully you got a great workout. If you didn't, make sure you grab your bands later, give it a try. If you've never done a band workout, I definitely recommend you give it a try. I don't care how strong you feel in the gym, you know, slinging steel around. You pick up those bands, they look easy, but they're not. So let's see if Ricky can connect real quick before we leave. Worst case, we're gonna just like post a picture of Ricky in the video. There he is.
Is he frozen?
That's all right. It's the mannequin challenge.
At least. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you. We'll have to do this again soon. Not just with this workout, we'll do some other live workouts. I forgot how fun these are. One thing, you'll definitely be able to find this if you're not sure where to find it besides the Undersun YouTube channel. We'll also post this in the blog, JG's Corner, on jamesgrage.com. You'll find all kinds of stuff on there. Also, you know, the Frank Zane training series is on there. There's also a blog on there that answers a big question a lot of people have, which is, you know, why did I go back to training with weights again as opposed to bands only? So there's a nice little article on that as well that explains that. So that's it. Appreciate you, and I will see you next workout.